Welcome, audience. Thank you for joining us today. For viewers new to Rec Alliance, we're a buying group for recruitment agencies. Our goal is to deliver discounts, rebates, and improved terms of trade from suppliers to the recruitment industry to our members, being, of course, recruitment agencies. In the lead up to the end of the year, we're running further webinars following this one. We have up and coming live hire, an ATS that some of you may be familiar with. We have Aegis risk management regarding workers' compensation and Elevate corporate training, which will be about becoming a better recruitment consultant and or manager as well. Now, today, our topic is on legal services, commonly engaged by recruitment agencies. Perhaps some agencies do have engaged a lawyer, maybe they don't. But here today, we're certainly fortunate enough to have Anthony, who's the Head of Marketing and Partnerships at LegalVision. Great to have you with us today, Anthony.
Thanks, David. Glad to be here.
Perfect. Now, look, now, of course, being the marketing professional you are, you kindly produced the information slides that we'll be running through today, made my job nice and easy for me today. So, look, I mean, what I'll do is get your presentation up and let you take control of that and run through us and talk to us about LegalVision, your reputation, I guess, industry recognition that you've had.
Yeah, sure. Great. Thanks, David. So today I'm just going to cover two things. Firstly, the legal issues that we often see come across facing recruitment agencies. I've spoken to a number of lawyers who regularly work with recruitment agencies and sort of the common legal issues that have popped up over the past 6 to 12 months. So I'm just going to cover a few of those issues at a high level. And then the second part is I'll dive a bit into LegalVision as a law firm. We operate pretty much very differently to any other law firm out there. And we work very closely with recruitment agencies across Australia, New Zealand, and the UK as well. So let's dive into it. First, I'll touch on how we help recruitment agencies from a legal perspective. So we've got a team of 100 or so lawyers here in Australia, and varies practice areas from employment law to contracts to intellectual property. And having spoken to a number of them recently about the legal challenges facing recruitment agencies, they've come back with a list that you can see on the screen here. So I'll go through each of them and then just provide some high-level sort of tips, I guess, on what recruitment owners should look out for when they're dealing with this across their business on a day-to-day basis. So first of all, the commercial contracts is a no-brainer. As a recruitment agency owner, you've probably got different contracts with not only your clients, but also suppliers as well as the candidates themselves. Recently, in the past year, there have been a number of different changes regarding commercial contracts, specifically regarding unfair consumer contracts as well. If you've got a contract where, for example, you're not fulfilling your end of the deal, there are different terms now that can land recruitment agency owners in hot water. So it's important to ensure that your commercial contracts are the obligations you've got there under the unfair contract laws are up to date and adhering with the obligations you've got as an owner. And secondly, agency agreements as well have become obviously one of the core contracts you've got as a recruitment agency, ensuring that's up to date and covers all the clear clauses that you've got, especially from a liability point of view. And also if your recruiters, for example, leave your agency and work for another agency, whether it's protected there from a non-compete agreement. So that leads into the second point around employment law. Obviously, you're working with a lot of candidates who are looking to land a job at a new employer. There's a number of clauses that's really important to ensure that your contracts that you're providing your candidates are up to date. The Fair Work Act is the main piece of legislation that applies to employees and workers across Australia, and it's ensuring that the contracts that you're giving from an employment point of view are complying, especially when it comes to worker classification. For example, example, if an award applies to your candidates, and also discrimination as well. A number of different changes have come through in the past 3 months regarding worker discrimination, and you have to ensure that your employment contracts there are up to date. And finally, recently, a number of changes regarding work from home clauses as well as sexual harassment have come through, and it's important there that any employment agreement as well as the agreements from the employer's point of view are up to date as well there. To move on, there's a number of different privacy and data protection laws that again have been updated in the last 3 to 6 months. First of all, regarding the Australian privacy principles, you're obviously dealing with a lot of sensitive information when you're placing a candidate into a job, everything from demographic data to health data. If you're sharing any of that information with a potential client of yours, you need to ensure that you've got the right privacy and data protection processes in place to protect it on both sides. And then moving on to licensing and registration, we've got a regulatory and compliance team here at LegalVision who are regularly advising our clients on ensuring that they've got the right licenses and registrations, especially as it applies to the correct state. And if you're also placing candidates in overseas markets as well, or overseas candidates in an Australian market, to ensure that you've got the right paperwork in place, especially as it relates to like corporate immigration. So our immigration team are regularly working with different recruitment agencies, especially as it applies to visas. There's a whole raft of visas out there that different companies need to be on top of, especially if your candidates are moving from one visa to another. Again, it's a pretty complex minefield, but our corporate immigration team are happy to assist there if you need some advice. Aside from that, the intellectual property one's a pretty straightforward one. If you're registering, if your business operates, whether it has a trademark or not, to protect the business. So your business name is different to your trademark, and ensuring that you've got the right trademark in place ensures that no one else can use your logo or your business name. And if they do, then they're infringing on your trademark, and our team can assist there as well. Our corporate tax team are often advising recruitment agencies from a structuring point of view, as well as from an employment point of view. And as it applies to employment, it's often payroll tax, ensuring that our clients there are paying not only their own employees correctly, but often our tax lawyers are also advising on placing candidates on the tax obligations of candidates as well, especially if they're overseas candidates that are not really aware of the different tax obligations that apply in Australia. And finally, debt recovery. This is probably one of the biggest areas that our team help with recruitment agencies. You placed a candidate and you might have an arrangement in place where the company will pay you for placing that candidate, whether it's immediately or within 6 months down the track. A lot of recruitment agencies come to us when they're facing an issue where the company has not paid for whatever reason. Our debt recovery team work really closely with recruitment agencies to ensure that they are paid sort of on time. And if the alternative dispute resolution process doesn't play out, then they often escalate that as well. But very few matters ever, are gone beyond a simple letter of demand. So yeah, I've sort of very quickly covered a number of the most common legal issues that are facing recruitment agencies. As I mentioned earlier, we've got a team of 100 or so lawyers that work across Australia and New Zealand and the UK as well. If you need any further information regarding any of these specific areas, I'm happy to connect you with one of our lawyers to provide a complimentary consultation so you can understand how these laws affect your business more on a specific level that applies to them. We also have a legal health check here that you can see on the slide. I'll provide my contact.
Anthony, yep. I'll just jump in quickly, I guess, just to provide some real world context and around a few of those examples back on the previous slide. So, look, Rec Alliance, we use LegalVision, and we've certainly utilised the services from contract review perspective, some contractor information as well. And I don't want to, I guess, jump too far ahead because I know you're going to be talking about, the LegalVision model and how you're different and why you're different. But we've certainly found the unlimited advice that we've had access to be invaluable, and being a huge game changer, I guess, from an expense perspective of managing our legal expenses and them not blowing out, which we all know can happen, I guess, sometimes when you start engaging lawyers. So definitely very, very useful for recruitment agencies, and we've used a number of those areas, anything from contractors to employment law. Thankfully we haven't had to look at debt recovery yet, but I'm sure the day will come. But just wanted to sort of touch on that and provide some real world examples.
Yeah, really appreciate that, David. So I'll touch on quickly just the employment health check, and then I'll explain how LegalVision's model works. As David has mentioned, we do operate very differently to your traditional law firm. As I mentioned earlier, the legal health check is a PDF document. I'll leave my contact details at the end. Happy to shoot across this document that you can just run through to ensure that your recruitment agency is sort of up to date with the latest changes that have applied this year. And then, finally, sort of how we operate. So as David mentioned, we provide our clients with unlimited legal services through our membership. So when you sign up as a member with LegalVision, you get access to the full team of 100 lawyers on demand whenever you need, whether that you need a contract reviewed or a contract drafted, an agency agreement or an employment agreement that you just want someone to look over, or you want a brand new one drafted specifically for your industry. Our lawyers will be able to draft that for you. And I think one big benefit is the unlimited legal advice consultation. So if you just have a simple question that you want a lawyer's opinion on, you can just book a call in and speak to someone very quickly on whatever area of law that you need. So if you've got a tax question or a debt recovery question, you don't need to worry about the cost of a phone call. Most other law firms out there charge like sort of an hourly rate, but with our model, you sort of get access to your own team, your own in-house legal team for a pretty affordable monthly fee. So as you can see on the screen there, those are the number of the different areas that we provide. So the benefits that we provide under the membership, but you just need to think of it as your own in-house legal team for your recruitment agency that you've got sort of on demand whenever you want. David, do you have any other examples that you want to touch on how you do?
Yeah. Sure. So I guess, talking about contracts, look, specifically reviewing contracts with potential partners of our business has been very helpful. And that would apply back to, as a recruitment agency, and I've got a recruitment agency, if you're signing up to a PSA or anything along those lines, having the lawyers review that. I recently made a phone call in or had a meeting with LegalVision in and around the potential contractor laws that are coming in or proposed. Obviously a lot of work to be done there yet, but how would it affect, my business in relation to ABN holders who are contractors versus, I guess, contractors acting almost as an employee within the business. So that was, to get ahead of the game. So that wasn't an immediate need or an immediate piece of legislation that had been passed, but I wanted to know how I could prepare myself for what may happen. So again, very, very much an invaluable service.
Yeah, that's it. I think you nailed it on the head. I think with this membership, you're a bit more proactive with the way that you engage your lawyers. A lot of businesses just see lawyers as more sort of reactive, like you've received like a debt recovery letter or you suddenly need like a trademark registered. But with our membership, we sort of lay out a roadmap with our client success team. They'll work with you as a business owner and figure out what you need to ensure that your business is protected and set up for growth as well. The last slide here is just a sort of special offer for anyone who's a Rec Alliance member. We're happy to offer first month free when you sign up as a member. We also have like a fixed fee offering if you're interested in just trying out to see how we work, and I can connect you with someone in our team to provide a quote. All you need to do is just email partnerships@legalvision.com.au, and myself or someone from the team will walk you through or connect you with someone on our team to assist your recruitment agency. So that's pretty much it. We're pretty happy to explain or connect you with anyone else in our team if you're listening. We're really happy to providing support to recruitment agencies across Australia, New Zealand and UK. And thank you, David, for the opportunity.
You're welcome, Anthony. Appreciate you joining us and providing that valuable information. Short and sweet, the way we like it. Hopefully kept everyone's attention. But yes, for our audience, thank you for joining us. And of course, keep your eyes out for notifications of further webinars coming up. On behalf of Anthony and myself, thank you very much and have a good day.
Great. Thanks a lot.